Why do you believe collectively black people are so resilient, and is resistance one of the epigenetic inheritances from our ancestors?
It's like there's I practice the Yoruba spiritual or scientific sacred approach to understanding divinity and cosmology and ecology. And in there's one character who you also find in the voodoo system, and it's called Ogun. Ogun, some people say, is the god of iron, the god of war. But Ogun in the system of African sacred science is the forces of transformation. But transformation comes as a result of pressure being placed upon an object. The way Ogun is manifest in our culture is that it's a piece of rock that's full of impurities and probabilities that would not be useful for the future tasks that this rock has to face. So the rock is put in the fire, and the heat is raised to a level that you burn out these impurities. And then you use a hammer to put pressure on that hot rock that the impurities have been burned out to mold it into a useful tool for society. And African people is like that rock that makes up the concept called Ogun, that goes through the transformation that eliminates the impurities of character based on the pressure that's placed upon the rock itself. And so we were under such pressure to survive in a world dominated by the uncivilized ignorance of the European personality, especially here in the Western Hemisphere. And I says the ignorant, uncivilized personality, because history will bear that out, that they didn't bring to the Americas any technology of any significance. They brought Africans to America who had the technologies of significance for the agriculture, for the industry building, for the timber industry, and on and on. This is the Africans being brought to the Western Hemisphere, to the Caribbean, the United States, Central South America. We bring the technology from Africa, and we build the corporate structure under pressure and duress, the barrel of the gun and the sling of the sword for hundreds of years. Out of that kind of pressure, where we're not allowed to speak our language. Now, language is how you reinterpret yourself. We're not allowed to practice our culture. Our culture is how you give birth to yourself. We're not allowed to practice our family structure. That is how you create the unity that allows for the safety and well-being of the self. They took all of that away from us deliberately in order to create a non-functional social being. And we had to create new ways of being social beings without being destroyed. And it's that pressure that has produced this extraordinary black man and woman, particularly in North America, because North America is made up primarily of the North Americans and the Black Caribbean. We built North America, going back to the 1500s really, but particularly from the 1700s on. And so we've shown the world that the more pressure you put on the black man and woman, the greater product you're going to get responding to the challenges they have to meet. And we've done that over and over and over again, because that is what being African is about. We are the first manifestation of the human being. When the divine, if you want to call it God, the divine, the universe, the all in all, the one in one, when it decided to manifest as a human being, just as it decided to manifest as a butterfly or a mango tree, it manifested as a black woman, right? And she would give manifestation to the rest of us, including the white man, the Asian man, and all the other men and women in the world. Starts with this black woman. No science can prove anything different, you know? And so that's not just a theory, that has been the demonstrated practice of the way of life of African people, particularly in this hemisphere because of the particular kind of pressure we were put under, especially in the Caribbean and in North America.